Hi, everybody. My name is Amit Levinson, and what should be written here is Visualizations Together, a community visualization challenges and their educational inspiration, my name, and a little bit of the social media links I use. Now, where's the clicker? If I can use it. Ah. Thank you. Perfect. I think it's on. If you can, sorry. Ready? Huh? Ta-da. Okay, I'll just do it with the mouse here. Should be fine. Perfect. Thank you. So a little bit about me. As mentioned, I'm a risk strategy analyst at Payoneer. I'm a father, partner, and Tel Aviv resident. Actually, we also have a newborn, so thank you all for the inspiration for the baby data. And my wife will be pushing me to look at it. I'm also a proud dog owner. That's our dog Milo. And I enjoy data analysis and visualizations. But I actually came about it by chance. A few years ago, when I was an MA student for sociology at Ben Gurion, I wanted to analyze my thesis data in something other than what we learned back then. And that's how I came across the R programming language. And I asked myself, how do I learn to use R? And I realized that basically by manipulating and visualizing data, which consequently led me to visualization challenges. So in the coming few minutes, I want to share with you a few things I really like about these challenges and some things I took away from them for me. The first thing I'd like to touch on is community. So roaming across Twitter, wanting to learn R, I came across the Tita Tuesday hashtag and the Tita Tuesday project. The Tita Tuesday is a visualization project, a weekly project, where each week Thomas Mock publishes a new data set, and the community, our community, is welcome to analyze and visualize it and post it online on Twitter. So eager and excited to learn R, not really knowing what to do with it, I came across the first week, national parks, and I said, this is the week I'm going to participate in. Again, I don't have any experience, but it was something I wanted to do. So I looked at the data, I saw an interesting trend, somewhat intuitive, of the increase of number of visitors across year. I added some icons, some annotations, some icons, some color. We'll talk about that later. And voila, I had my first plot, my first ever made plot. I posted it on Twitter, and the feedback was amazing. People were, in general, excited for me to join in, wanted to know how I did something, and in general, I was hooked on the project. Moving forward, I came across additional challenges, such as the 30-day map challenge, the 30-day chart challenge, and indifferent from the Tita Tuesday, these challenges, you bring your own data, right? So in the Tita Tuesday, you had a data set published online, and these challenges, you bring your own data. They occur throughout a month, every day throughout a month, with a theme in each day. But what I found uniting about these challenges was everybody and anybody was invited. Anybody could participate, beginners and advanced alike. You could participate one day, you can participate all the days. And despite not knowing anybody, I felt like I was part of the community. So as these challenges ask you to bring your own data, as the time progressed, I realized that if I brought data that was engaging for me, I was more committed and motivated to participate. But engaging means something different to everybody else. So for me, the first thing it was meaningful data. I live in Israel, and I like to look at data that relates to Israel. So at one time, I looked at Israeli prime ministers. At another time, I visualized Israel's elevation. And more recently, I looked at population density across Israeli cities, basically each point representing a person in that city and visualizing that density. But meaningful, engaging data was also personal data, such as, again, what Or discussed, such as our baby, and things that related on a personal level to me. So for example, I was interested and curious, how much do I use in the hashtag rstats that relates to the R community on Twitter? Or as somebody who frequently visits Dizengoff Square, I wanted to learn more about the walking distances from the Dizengoff Square. And again, this was meaningful and personal for me, but I think what I found really motivating, again, is bring your own data and something that gets you excited, that you want to look at and learn more about it, to these challenges. And the last and more practical thing is the things I took from these challenges, the whole learning ideas and different things that I got back from them. So one thing was learning from others. Right? This is common when you use programming language, and what I do in my daily work today is looking something up online. So this example in 2021, last year, in one of the map challenges, Alexander Kapp posted the following visual, which I found was simply elegant in its form. And what she does, she took 2 points in Berlin. She sampled 2 points, measured the fastest route between them, and did so for 500 pairs of points. She then plotted all the routes where the width of the line represents the frequency of that route traveled. So interested and curious in how she did it, I wanted to implement it in something I was interested in, and did the same idea for Tel Aviv. Again, highlighting the routes most frequently traveled on. Another thing I came to realize from these challenges, I'm learning new methods. For example, I'm learning technical things. So this plot is a map of Israel with the population in those areas, transitioning from a regular map to a cartogram. But this, I think, took me like 2 weeks to figure out how on earth do I have this transition? Because you have some blog posts that you can follow along, but then an error occurs, and you need to fix that, and then you go somewhere else and fix that. So that was something I realized I've been learning more and more. Additionally, you get these challenges as an opportunity to experiment with new ways of representation. So here in this plot, I'm trying to represent the outlier in a different way than what I'm used to, leveraging the area above the plot to position it there. And lastly, you get to explore new tools, new packages, new functions. So although I'm a very R enthusiast, here I'm trying to use D3, a JavaScript library, to visualize a bar plot. And lastly, within the learning area is the things I get to implement at work. I realize that a lot of what I'm learning from these challenges, it could be stuff that I read in books and now I can implement them in these challenges. I then translate them to where I work today at Pioneer. So it could be the whole idea that we talked about today in several occasions of pre-attentive attributes, such as where do I want my audience to look at first when I'm presenting at work? How do I use color, minimalism, and positioning of things to, again, orient the readers? Or more specifically, annotations, and how can we use them to tell the story and the context of what is it we're presenting? So if I'll recap this talk, I'd like to answer the question why I think one should participate and why I like to participate. First of all, it's a welcoming community. And as I said, everybody and anybody is invited to participate, beginners and advanced alike, come as you may. You get to interact and be inspired by amazing and brilliant people posting their outputs online on Twitter, LinkedIn, and other places. You're invited to leave your comfort zone and challenge yourself. You get to explore various data, so it could be data you had laying around or data that's provided to you, which is sometimes different than what you usually use, such as text, spatial data, time series, and more. You gain experience and confidence. Suddenly you encounter different data that you haven't encountered, and you've done it in the past, analyzed it, and now you're ready to do it again. You get to create something to call your own, and I think it's fun. So how do you start? Well, you just start. There are many challenges, and I realized I didn't have the viz for social good, but there are many challenges out there. Reach out to me if you want to know more about them, and just look them up online. So I'll see you at the next challenge. Thank you very much.
What I like about this session is that it's titled Independent Visualization, but you can see that the independent initiative becomes a way to meet a community and to find a community. So you can see that. Questions? 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 Yes.
Is there a way to approach the community by giving them a challenge, or just I must contribute in order to be part of the community?
It's a good question. I mean, for example, the 30-day chart challenge it started last year, right? So I was a little bit more oriented in various challenges. And I think it actually arose by people who are very strong in the community. I posted the link there, you can read more of it. Cedric, and I forgot, sorry, apologies for another person. But they were very in the community, so they were able to create the challenges from within it. I imagine it's possible, but I think it would be more difficult coming from outside, also to gain the followers and people, with you to participate in it. Yeah. Thank you.